What an amazing week we have had today. We started out the week with Team United that presented Tim Sales and Craig DeBrain and Coach Brent Palmer. What an absolute Zoom that was. I think it was a 2-hour Zoom. And in my opinion, we could have gone for another hour. I loved every minute, learned a lot. And you know, Tam, one of the things that we find fascinating is how people all over the company are looking towards Africa and investing in Africa, even if they don't have any financial gain, which I think is just, it says so much about the spirit and the culture of the company. And so as we're waiting for Cam to join, Tam, tell us, what was your takeaway from Monday?
Well, my takeaway was amazing because it's the second time I've heard Tim Sales teach on some of the things that he talked about. And if you didn't hear it, we encourage you to. Tim Sales, his background was that he was a coach for network marketers. He would go into companies and coach them and their people on how to train their people, train them up in the business. And so when he entered into RX, which he told the whole story about how he was approached by Mark Wilson, and he said he did due diligence, and it was the only company, it was the only company that he would even consider because of the Bill of Rights. And so he went in to talk a little bit about the Bill of Rights and why it supports and keeps the people, keeps our businesses from ever going away, and keeps the rights of the individual rep. And I think that was one of my biggest takeaways. The other thing is how he builds belief. He is so factual in what businesses, the money you can actually make in different types of brick and mortar businesses, standard business, real estate. And he pairs it up with the potential in network marketing. And I love that. I love a concrete thinker. I know that, I don't know if Frohan's on here tonight, but Frohan is one of my favorites because he loves numbers. He's the number guy. And so when he was listening to that, I could just see him. His eyes are swimming, because he loved all the detail and all the numbers. So it was truly fantastic. And again, get with your upline. If you didn't get to hear that, it is posted on Erika's Facebook page, which is Southern Africa. I know you changed it to Southern. So Southern Africa Movement. And it's really awesome. You'll have an opportunity to hear it there. So that was my takeaway, Erika. I loved it.
Well, Tim, and as if that wasn't enough, on Tuesday we had Alain Legrau from that's managing Europe and overseeing all the beautiful things that are happening in New Age Europe. And then we progressed with Nick Papas, and we had, sorry, this is Cam, he's on his way. And we had Stefan Page from Canada on. And Stefan, what I loved about Stefan was that he not only shared from theological knowledge or from theory, but from theoretical knowledge, but he actually walked it out. He opened up various new markets. And I loved it, Sam, when he said that he was so unsuccessful in the beginning. And I was sitting there thinking, what? Stefan Page was unsuccessful? I'm like, I cannot believe it.
That should encourage all of us, right? I was like, hey, listen, that's good news for everybody in the house. And I love that we have the opportunity to listen to such inspiring people that have gone before us. And Africa, that's where you're at today. You are positioned in this amazing place of greatness. When you heard Stefan's story, I thought, I hope every pioneer that is in our organization is listening. Yes, there's hiccups. Yes, there's challenges. Yes, there's transitions. But oh my gosh, wouldn't you like to be cashing his paycheck every week?
Right? In all honesty. But Tam, I see our guest of honor arrived. And so, Cam, it's good to see you. But Tam, I'm going to hand over to you so that you can introduce Cam to us.
I have to introduce Cameron. I can't just let him jump in. I want to go back. Okay, I'm going to give you a little 2-minute heart here, okay? When we started the Southern Africa movement a year ago, 13 months ago,
15 months ago.
15 months ago. Thank you, Erika. 15 months ago, it was hope, prayer, and an idea. And we saw a little black dot on South Africa with the potential of bringing this to the people of Africa. And, you know, we've had our ups and our downs, and we've had huge successes, and we've had to practice patience while we're waiting for everything to come a full circle to what is happening. But I want you to know a little secret about this. At the very beginning, the first person that came into our lives was Ian Chandler and Cameron Bott. And they came in and they encouraged us. They linked arms with us. They said, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be simple, but it's going to be worth it. And so here we are today, 15 months later, telling you it hasn't been simple. It hasn't been easy, but I'm telling you, we're almost at 10, 12,000 reps right now. It's worth it. So Cameron was a person that brought hope. He's a lover of the people. I'm telling you, it's one of the things I love most about who he is. He thinks about you. He thinks about your family. He thinks about the fact that you are trying and working hard to create a better way for your family, for your legacy. He is a family man. He is a father. He is a husband. He knows what that's like to want something better for his family. And he leads with that compassion, and he leads with such excellence. So I want you to know Cameron Bott at the very beginning was the one that flamed the fire. He was the one that encouraged us. He's the one that stood by us. And if it wouldn't have been for him, none of us would be here. And that's the truth. So with that word, welcome, Mr. Cameron Bott.
My gosh, you're making me a little emotional here, Tammy. That's a problem. I gotta
sweat it off. It's the truth, Cam. It's so true. But here you are. You are the president all over Europe, Africa, the Middle East, Russia. I mean, this guy is like running half the world. And he's taking the time to be with us today. But you know, we're positioned, Cam. I mean, you know what's happening. Speak to the people.
There's no place else I would rather be at this moment right now. I want to talk about something you said that was really, really important, Tammy. First of all, thank you for having me on the call. And Erika, thank you so much. I love working with you. Love working with this group. And when you say it's all about family, for me, it is. It truly is. And that's something that I've tried to instill in anywhere that I go, in any market that I go into, is this isn't just about a business. This isn't just about making money. Of course, we all want to make money and improve our livelihoods, right? But this to me is more about a family and a community. Yes. My family, more than anything, is the most important thing to me. And I will go through hell or high water to protect my family and make sure that they have what they need. You are included in that. You are my family. Nice. And I take that very seriously. It's a partnership for me. And I'll go through hell and high water, and we do it all the time to make sure that you've got the opportunities that you need. Now, we're positioned in a really interesting spot right now. You talked about potential, okay? And I want to talk scientific here a little bit, because there's this thing called potential energy and there's this thing called kinetic energy. And they're a little bit different. But what's really cool about the law of potential and kinetic energy is that the first statement in there is that energy cannot be created, nor can it be destroyed. It just is. Okay? It depends on what you do with that energy. So take that to heart. This energy cannot be destroyed. It's either going to come here or it's going to go somewhere else. So right now we have this potential energy. We've got all of this opportunity. We've got all of these things bubbling up. All of this hard work that we've put in, all this hard work that you've put in, all of this energy and all this love. So what do we need to do to take potential energy? And potential energy, I'm sure all of you know what it is, but you got a rock sitting on top of a hill. This is potential energy. And when it turns to that is when it becomes kinetic energy. So what do we need to do to take it from potential to kinetic energy?
So good.
Well, you got a lot of different things that you're going to need to be doing. But the biggest thing for me that I'm going to tell you right now is going to be your leadership and your attitudes going into this. Tammy said something really important. I've never been a part of a merge. I've never been part of a launch. I've never been a part of anything. I've never been a part of a breakfast where something doesn't go wrong. I mean, you crack a few eggs. That's just how it goes. Okay. But true leadership comes out in how you react to that. True leadership comes out in how you take this potential energy and turn it into kinetic. Okay.
Love this.
There are some leaders and there are some people out there that are going to be so afraid to jump off this cliff and drop into kinetic energy, which is the only way you're going to move forward, that they're going to scoot backwards. They're going to take that potential energy and go backwards more onto the ledge. That's not going to work, because then your potential energy just stays potential energy, but it's farther from kinetic. You're going to have to take the opportunity to do the things that are scary, to do the things that are uncomfortable. And fortunately and unfortunately for you as leaders, you get to do the scariest part, which is jump. But the scariest part is also the most rewarding and the most fun part. I don't know if any of you have been skydiving or doing anything like that. It's the scariest dang thing that you're going to experience in your life until you get out there. And then you're like, oh my gosh, what have I been missing my entire life? What am I doing? Skiing down a hill. What have I been missing my entire life? So that's number one. How are you going to embrace the grind? How are you going to get comfortable being uncomfortable? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that it's going to be a holy nightmare, because we've made things. We've put things together. Craig has killed it. You guys have killed it. You created these awesome campaigns. I fully believe everything's going to be beautiful. But who makes it beautiful is you. There's going to be small issues. There's going to be things that happen, but that's, that's what a pioneer is. You guys blaze through, you make the trail for everybody else, and the reward is there for you. Be comfortable being uncomfortable, and that's okay. So that's number one. Potential energy, turning that into kinetic energy, and how are you going to do that? So number one is by being a leader, by embracing the grind. Number two, and this one is so critical to me. You guys have created this awesome atmosphere and this awesome culture and this awesome training and leadership development. How do you now then duplicate that down to your teams? Yes. The biggest successes that I've seen in the markets that I've been running are the ones that are successful, are the ones that can duplicate the quickest. And I'm sorry, I'm not just talking, and I might offend somebody on here, and I'm sorry if I do. The idea of the push the play button and get out of the way, I hate that idea. This is a people business.
Yes, 100%.
You've created, right, Tammy and Erika, you've created this beautiful community, but now you have to be able to train people to do the same thing that you've done. And it's not just about train them how to push a button and get out of the way. Man, if that was the case, then everybody would be a billionaire. And in that case, then no one would be a billionaire. Right? That's just how it is. You guys have got to embrace the duplication. And I mean, duplicating how to train the business, duplicating how to train on the product, but just as critical and just as important, duplicating how to create the community.
Yes.
People aren't coming in here just for the business, just for their money. They're coming in for the community.
100%.
You guys, the people on this call, you've created that community. Now, here's what I suggest. I was on with a leader out of Australia the other day, and he just said, I can't get any consistency going. I can't get anything going. I said, oh, that's weird. How come, what do you think is your struggle with consistency? And he said, well, people just don't follow me consistently. So I said, okay, show me your calendar. Well, I'll tell you where the consistency didn't come through is because his calendar wasn't consistent. It was like, oh, we'll do one training here, and then maybe in 2 months we'll do another training. And then, man, create your system and duplicate it and make it easy for people, but be consistent.
Yes.
And be pushing. You guys do a beautiful job. This call right here is part of that consistency. How do you get people on this call? Now, I love the idea of having one big call. I also love the idea of having one big call plus a bunch of different calls. Because your job ultimately, and this is step number 3. Number 1, we already know what that is. Number 2, duplication. Number 3, and this is just gospel according to Cameron, right? This is what I've seen work effectively. Number 3 is you have to have the focus on making sure that you're not number 1 in the spotlight. The only reason that I've been successful in this business is because I realize that there are people that are smarter than me.
No kidding.
Isham Benalal and Alan Legrell and Monica Jimenez and on my team, they're way smarter than I ever dreamed of being. Okay. And my job is to make myself irrelevant, is to make them the number 1, is to make them important, to give them the tools that they need. Your job is to remove the roadblocks and to provide the inspiration and keep the morale up while you're duplicating it. So what did I say at the very beginning? It's hard. It's a grind because you got to do everything. You have to hold the meetings. You've got to inspire people. You've got to solve problems. You've got to do all this. Find people and start duplicating these things so that you can now elevate yourself and say, I'm the problem solver. I remove the roadblocks. I move these things and I duplicate this out. But that's going to be your role. As much as we all want to be the number 1 in the stars, you will be. You absolutely will be. But you've got to bring your people along with you and make them the stars. This isn't about you. It's not about me. This is about us. This is about the family. If dad was always the one that got the credit for everything, mom's going to be mad. Tell you that much. Mom's going to be really mad. You know, our whole job is to make sure, my whole job in my family is to make sure that my daughter knows that she's loved and that she's supported and she can make mistakes and she can come to me and I can fix things for her. But my job as a father is to look at her and say, what do you want to be? Who do you want to become? Here's what I've learned. Here's the practices I've put in place. Let me teach you what I've done. Teach her correct principles and let her run. Let her go. Make sure that she's the star. And also make sure that she doesn't marry a creep. That's my, my other goal.
For sure.
Simple things to go through. Okay, but you've got to, again, the biggest thing is you as leaders have got to take the first step. You can't rely on other people to take that first step off the cliff. That's the one for you. And you're doing it right now. Keep going, keep moving. When it gets hard, and it will, there will be some hard times and some difficult things, keep going, keep moving, keep walking. Don't retreat back onto the cliff. Keep flying, keep skydiving down there. But then it's going to be your responsibility, and it may be a year, it may be 2 years, maybe 3 months, depending on how fast you duplicate. It is your responsibility to train your people to do what you're doing so you can elevate. If you can't elevate and you stay stuck in the weeds, your business will stay small. It'll stay stuck in the weeds. You, as awesome as each one of you are on this call, you can't grow this thing to as big as you want it, because I know your dreams. I know how big you want these things. You as one person, not because you as a person are inadequate. It's because one person can't do it all. You've got to train your teams to do it.
100%. Oh, Cam, thank you so much. And it's so true. I love that kinetic energy. That is awesome. It's like, what a visual to see a rock on a cliff and then to see it pushed over where it moves into kinetic energy. I mean, that is a visual I have in my brain for a very long time. You know, we're right on, Cam. See, now everybody, you see why this man is so amazing and why we would follow him into a war zone, because he is for the people. And that is one of the things. He's just such a great teacher and encourager. And Cam, we are on the cusp. Like right now, we are.
You're there.
Weeks, I could say days, I could say weeks, I could say days away from the product being launched in Africa and people being able to get their packs, start running, making money. We've got a beautiful compensation plan, which is paying people out money up front because we know that that's a unique need and challenge in Africa, which thank you so much for your willingness to work on all of that, to make that come true for Africa, because we're the only country, I believe, that has a not completely, but a different compensation plan.
It was made by Africa for Africa, just like the products.
It was made by Africa for, oh, that just gave me goosebumps. Wow. And so these are, this is where we're at. What is your word of encouragement? What should people be doing right now? Like, what should they be doing? We talk about locking people in their spot, getting people, saving their money to get their pack of products. We've talked about sharing the good news of New Age to everyone. And so we've talked about those three different dimensions, but if you were in our seat right now, Cam, and you knew that this country was opening, all of South Africa is opening, what would you be doing, Cam, right now?
I sure wouldn't be wasting any time. That's for sure. You've got a couple of different opportunities right now. There's a huge hype campaign going on, right? There's a lot of information and a lot of things going out there where we're securing spots and getting that done. Again, that's why I brought up you've got to make this step. You have to jump off the cliff. A lot of people are going to hesitate and want to wait, feel things out and go, well, I'm going to wait a few weeks. You wait a few weeks, you're going to wait a few months, and you wait a few months, you're going to wait a year, and you might as well just forget it, right? Get going, now. If you haven't secured your spot, get your boss, get in there, get your people enrolled and get them going, right? We've got a unique opportunity for people to come in once this thing starts to just hit the ground running. This isn't a slow start. This isn't we're going to be piecemealing things out to you. This is when you get it, you get the whole shebang.
We say you get the whole enchilada.
You get the whole enchilada with cheese on top, right? This thing is it. Craig and his team have done so much work to make sure that the launch is very effective and the hype campaign is very effective. Now you've got a lot of people that you've put in that you've been, filtering in on this. Great. That's awesome. But now's where the proof is in the pudding. You got to get your people. I saw a comment on there, which was very relevant. Goal setting to me is everything. Right now, today, tonight, and tomorrow, you need to be setting your goal knowing that this is imminent and saying, okay, I have this many people in my paper tree. I've got this many people, or I want to get this many people signed up. You don't set a goal, there's nothing to work towards. You've got to set your goals and you've got to start getting those in. Day one, once the products are out, you got to be getting on, you got to be training, you got to be duplicating. I wouldn't wait till then, days or weeks. Okay, I'm not going to say either, but we know that it's either one. I wouldn't wait till then to be setting up your meetings and setting up your consistent calendars. Again, I think that is a mistake. If you don't have your goals and you don't have your clear, consistent calendars and your action items put together. If you don't have a day one, here's my calls that I'm doing on day one. Day two, here's the trainings that I'm doing. Day three, here's the call that we're going to get on that Tammy and Erika are doing with Dr. Ginger, with whoever, right? Whatever your schedule is. Failing to plan is planning to fail. Okay. So get on, do the fundamental things that you need to do now. If you haven't gotten your boss and you haven't secured your spot, man, that's step one, get it done, right? Focus on getting your people in that hype campaign. So you've got your paper tree ready to go. And then day one, you've got to be locked and loaded, ready to rock and roll.
I love that because I'm that kind of, I see like that. I'm a very visual action person and I need to see it. And so I love the idea. Who's on your team? Who are those people? Do you know what their numbers are? Do you know how to get their information? Do you know how they can get a pack of products? How can you reach out to those people that very day and make sure that they get their ultimate pack of products, hopefully, because of course we know that we want people to start out the highest because that pays out the most. And so we don't want to leave any money on the table. But for Africa, what they've done for us, we know the PV is so much lower. There's so many things that are coming that will help you to be successful. But I love that, Cam. Write a list. Who do you have their telephone numbers? Do you have a way to reach them that day? Do you have a way to get their pack of products? Help them get signed up. Get yourself familiar so you're not starting with a blank piece of paper.
And you're not starting with a blank idea. Remove your roadblocks for that day too. You know how easy it is? I've got 1,500 things I want to do on this computer, and sometimes I'm just like, I don't know that I want to do that today because I've got other things that are important. Get the things that aren't important out of the way. Make this a priority. If this is a priority in your life, and if this is something that's important to you, then make it a priority. Put it in. You've got to kick that stone off the ledge.
So guys, can I chime in here? Because I think, Cameron, what we also need to highlight on this call is that as the business grows, you as an individual need to grow too. And as your business opportunity expands, that calls for different attributes and giftings and talents that you have to be unlocked, right? And I think we're at the stage where I just want to say that what worked for me and Tam even 18 months ago is not what will work going forward. We have to evolve and we have to grow. And so I hear everything that you're saying. I've jotted it down, but I think the call is clear today that it is a new season. It is a new age indeed. And that calls for a new way. It calls for you stepping up to the plate and saying yes and not hiding.
You know what, Erika, that is a critical point that I want to bring up too. Not only in your leadership do you have to evaluate what changes you need to make to be able to grow, the way that you do business. Now, fundamentally as a business, you know, and you've heard that we are going to become the #1 social selling and distribution company. What does that mean for Mike and Yolanda and Nick and Franco and Frojan and Margaret and Tammy and Erika? What does that mean for you guys? Do you know how to utilize social selling, social media? And if you don't, come to us. We're going to be giving you tools. We're going to be showing you how to do these things. We're going to be doing trainings. Heck, Erika and Tammy, you've got carte blanche to come to us and say, I need your social media guy on the phone to train us how to do this because so-and-so wants to get on. You need to identify where maybe you're weak. I'm weak in social media, right? And so I've hired somebody to help me learn and to help me grow and to help me do those things. So it's not just in your leadership, it's in every facet of your business. The company and the business is going this way. It's going social. It's going faster. It's going more efficient and effective. What do you need to do to stay the course as well?
So guys, it's clear, right? Do the basics, start out with the basics, start out with your daily method of operation. We've got a great training on that actually, and you can access that. Send us a message and we'll get it to you. But it's back to basics, right? And then we have to understand that we are working in a continent where you have to train your people. You have to help them. You have to come alongside of them, and you have to become. That's been a challenge, right? To become what your people need. That's key, in my opinion. Not being high and mighty, but taking off your high heels, sitting on the ground, and working with them ground level up. And I want to encourage you on this call, for your own sake. If you want to be rich, we all want to be rich. We all want to make money, which is wonderful. But the real gold is in the people. And I want to encourage you, unearth the gold that has been entrusted to you already and see it grow as you grow. It won't grow if you don't grow. And it won't be positive if you're not positive. It won't have a kinetic energy to it if you don't. So you need to step up to it. Don't wait for me and Tamsy. You go, you lead, you take responsibility. And Cam, I so appreciate the culture of this company, and the stuff that you say today resonates so much with not only me, but with the African culture, because we have a saying and it's called Ubuntu. I'm sure you guys have heard it, but it's the philosophy that I am because we are. And it really takes the you out of it and it brings the us into it, which I think is so powerful. And I see it in the company as I meet and I hear. I don't say a lot all the time, but I listen and I pick it up everywhere. And it's so wonderful. It's so beautiful. So thank you for that.
Thank you. You can thank Mark Wilson for that. He's kept me humble over the past 15 years that I've known him. So.
I believe it.
Oh, you guys.
He's another one of my favorites. So I think you and Mark Wilson have a lot of commonality. Both of you are just,
That's true.
you lead both so beautifully, and who you are. You both have that very strong leadership, but you're very driven by the people and family and relationships and community and culture. And the culture is so huge, and we are bringing that culture to Africa, and it's already there. We're just linking arms with the African people. So today, I think our action items, what do we do next is, who do you know? Are you ready for the day that is coming very soon, when it's not going to be rolled out like over a 2-week period of time, right, Cam?
This is when it's on, it's on.
Wow.
When it's on, it's on. The light switch has gone on. And so I want to encourage you. Are you ready for that light switch? Are you ready? Do you have your people? Do you have their numbers? Do you have the ability to help them get in and get their packs ordered? Are you prepared? Opportunity meets preparation meets opportunity. If you prepare, you have to prepare ahead of time. It doesn't just come. When I do an event, I'm doing a big event here this weekend in Colorado for our regional. I can't even tell you how much preparation I've had to put into this so that it's a successful day. It doesn't just happen. So are you ready? Do you have the names of your people? Do you know what their their sponsorship numbers are? Do you know whose teams they're on? Are you ready with a pen and pad? And are you ready and available to help team that day? Because trust me, that's going to be a day worth remembering.
Right? Is that
Tammy, you said something perfect. That's going to be the day that defined you as a leader as well. And it's not just that day, it's the next month, it's the next, because people are going to come to you and go, Mike, I need some help. What do I do here? And you may, you may not have all of the answers, and that's okay. Be honest about it, but you can find the answers. We're here to give you the answers, right? But be available, because remember, when you first came into this industry, you were just like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what's happening. I'm just excited. That's all I know, right? I've just bought something and I'm super excited about it. Take that energy, be available, and you got to be the one that's helping them along the way. The worst thing that we can do is just leave them out in the dark, because, man, that's not a good place for people. So,
no.
And I want to just challenge you. I'm sorry, Erika, and then I'm going to throw it to you and you can close it. But I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you more than just with words. I want to challenge you with action. And I want you to write. I want you to look in your back office. I want you to look at your organizations. I want you to look at the names of those people. I want you to get their numbers. I want you to already be reaching out to people. It's coming. It's coming. So when the day comes, I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you get that pack. Bring some energy and show people. And then I'll tell you what, I challenge you to write out your list and send it to your upline. I challenge you to be accountable, to write that list out, put their numbers in there, how you're going to contact them, how you're going to make that connection, and send it to your upline and make yourself accountable. Because when you're accountable together, you're much more successful. So that's my challenge. And if you have one person on your team, you're a leader. If you have one person that's in your organization, remember, that person needs you to come alongside and encourage and help them.
Gosh, that is so good, you guys. It's so good. I just love it. I love it. I'm so excited. You guys, you cannot catch a fish without a fishing rod and some bait. That's it, right? So make sure your rod is ready, your bait is packed, you've got your drinks and your snacks and everything that you want, because you want to enjoy this fishing trip, right? And you're going to catch a lot of fish, but you have to be prepared. One of the things, Cam, that I just want to highlight is on Monday, training day, we have the Ready, Set, Go training that will be launching. I do not want you to be left behind with this training. This training is designed for somebody that signed up with a boss and know nothing. So I want to encourage you. This is the beauty of plugging in, right? You don't even have to go and figure it out. We've kind of figured it out, but you can add to it and put your own flavor to it. But join us this coming Monday, where Tam and I will be introducing this training. We will be launching it together, and it really is going to help that brand new guy that doesn't even realize he has to buy data, right? That's who we're going to be targeting, that guy, the average guy in Africa. Get them plugged in. The training will be recorded. It will be sent out through all the teams. So if they cannot make it live, don't worry about it, but get them into that training. Tam, that is going to be a powerful 3-week training for everybody. And I just think the timing for it is so divine and so perfect. Well, on that note, hype campaign, boss, Ready, Set, Go, lots happening.
Yes,
but
yes.
write the list, write out your list and send it to your upline, and maybe jump on a social media, get out of your comfort zone and do a live. Just do a live about the new, that you're jumping into the new and you're scared spitless, but it's okay. You're not jumping alone, we're jumping with you. So why don't you go ahead and do that a day and end your week on a high note. Cam, thank you. I appreciate you so much. You've shown yourself on so many levels to this team and to me personally, but to the team. And I have nothing but great respect for you, and so does the team in Africa. I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
I love each and every one of you, and I'm thankful to be able to work with you. And hey, I just wanted to shout out on a couple of people, Mike and Corlia and Marina and Jared, and a couple of you who are just always so positive on these and really echoing what we said. So thank you. Your leadership's coming through, and we're so excited. So keep it up.
Thanks, Tam. Close us out.
Thank you, Cam. Special. Remember, full circle, guys. Cam was that voice of encouragement. His voice is still strong, and his voice is ever relevant to where you're at today. And I love that. I love where we start, how we build, come back full circle, and you're listening to a man that is casting you a vision, the same vision that he cast for you day one. But this is big because we are launching in Africa, for Africa, for the African people in the country of Africa. It's just miraculous what we're about to experience. So thank you, Cam, so much for joining us. Bless you and your family. Stay safe. Erika, as always and ever, thank you for your excellent and incredible leadership. And we will see you guys all next week, Monday, as we do another training Zoom. Good night, everyone.